This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 23, Getting Rich from Zero to Hero in One Blog Post by Mr. Money Mustache of MrMoneyMustache.com.
Get ready to maximize your potential with Optimal Living Daily, the podcast that brings you the best in personal development and productivity every day of the week. Your optimal life awaits. Now here's your host, Justin Malik.
Hello and welcome to Optimal Living Daily. I am Justin Malik, and this is where I read to you some posts from my favorite authors out there in the blogosphere. And I'm really excited today because I have a new author to read to you from. If you didn't hear me mention it at the top of this episode, today's new author is Mr. Money Mustache. Awesome name, of course, and a seriously awesome blog. This guy has done something amazing that I think everyone dreams of doing. But I'm actually not going to give him an intro because the post I'm going to read to you is just that, a sort of intro post that will briefly explain his story, but also provide some great inspiration and advice and get you pumped about more posts to come. And I'm going to do something different today and not sponsor myself or have another sponsor here at the top of the show because I haven't provided any value yet. Instead, I'll sponsor myself at the end of the show, so if you find value in what I provided, you can then listen to me sponsoring myself at that time. All right? So let's get this going then and start optimizing your life. Getting Rich from Zero to Hero in One Blog Post by Mr. Money Mustache of MrMoneyMustache.com. Hi there. If we haven't met, my name is Mr. Money Mustache. I'm the freaky financial magician who retired along with a lovely wife at age 30 in order to start a family, as well as start living a great life. We did this on 2 normal salaries with no lottery winnings or Silicon Valley buyout windfalls by living what we thought was a wonderful and fulfilling existence. It was only after quitting the rat race that we looked around and realized why we had become financially independent, while most people, even with higher incomes, end up stuck needing to work until age 65. I figured a post like this was long overdue since about half of the readers of the blog are pretty new and casting around wondering where to start on a giant blog like this with over 300 published articles. Then we can stick this article up in the menu for all future rounds of newcomers. Quote, I hear Mr. Money Mustache writes some useful stuff, and many people are building happy, wealthy lives for themselves using his advice, they are saying. But I am a busy person. How can he make me rich right now? End quote. Great question. Let's begin. For almost 2 years, I've been preaching a different brand of financial advice from what you see in the newspapers and magazines. The standard line is that life is hard and expensive, so you should keep your nose to the grindstone, clip coupons, save hard for your kids' college educations, and save any tiny slice of your salary that remains into a 401k plan, and pray that nothing goes wrong in the 40 years of career work that'll take you to get yourself enough savings to enjoy a brief retirement. Mr. Money Mustache's advice? Almost all of that is nonsense. Your current middle-class life is an exploding volcano of wastefulness, and by learning to see the truth in this statement, you will easily be able to cut your expenses in half, leaving you saving half of your income, or 2/3 or more. Sound like a fantasy? Not to readers of this blog. What happens when you save more of your income? As it turns out, spending much less than you earn is the way to get rich, the only way, and the effects are surprising. If you can save 50% of your take-home pay starting at age 20, you'll be wealthy enough to retire by age 37. If you already have some assets now, you're even closer than that. If you can save 75%, your working career is only 7 years. So remember my freaky magician story up in the first paragraph? There was not really any magic. I just saved about 66% of my pay without really noticing it, and in under 10 years, I woke up and realized I didn't have to work for a living anymore. Our son was born shortly afterwards, and he recently had his 7th birthday party, and we're still going strong. But how can you save so much? The bottom line is this. By focusing on happiness itself, you can lead a much better life than those who focus on convenience, luxury, and following the lead of the financially illiterate herd that is the TV ad-absorbing middle class of the United States today, and most of the other rich countries. Happiness comes from many sources, but none of these sources involve car or purse upgrades. No matter what the herd or the TV set tells you, this is the truth. Far from being a social outcast, this new perspective will make you a hero among your friends. This is not a fringe activity anymore. Millions of people are fixing their lives these days, and the earlier you can accept it, the sooner you'll be rich. Is that all too fluffy and philosophical? Okay, fine. Here's how to cut your life costs in half. Start by getting rid of your debt emergency if you have one. Live close to work. Move to another city if you enjoy adventure. Don't borrow money for cars and don't buy stupid ones. Ride a bike wherever you can. Cancel your TV service. Stop wasting money on groceries. Give your kids the opportunity to achieve greatness without being pampered. Lose the overpriced cell phones. Learn to appreciate the life-boosting joy of using your own body to get things done. Learn to mock convenience. Practice optimism. That should do it. About half of your expenses gone in one paragraph. Keep going as many readers do, and you can save closer to 75% of what you make, especially for those with above average incomes. But then what do I do with all the money? You invest it in stock index funds, in paying off your own house, in rental houses if you're interested in local real estate, and in other sources as you continue to learn about making money work for you. My own retirement income comes from a dead simple asset allocation, one high-end rental house with no mortgage, and some 401k and taxable stock accounts which pay quarterly dividends. More recently, I've started experimenting with peer-to-peer lending for higher returns on a small percentage of the portfolio, but that's another story. How long will the money last? If you can get 25 times your annual spending saved up and working for you, that is enough to live off forever. Don't worry about the details. Just do the saving for now and watch as your lifestyle transforms and your worries about safety melt away. This blog is not so much a financial nuts and bolts blog as it is a story about lifestyle and attitude transformation. And believe it or not, your attitude determines your lifetime wealth much more than your knowledge of financial nuts and bolts. So welcome. I'm glad you're here, and let's get started. For the longtime readers, let's keep going. You just listened to the blog post titled Getting Rich from Zero to Hero in One Blog Post by Mr. Money Mustache of MrMoneyMustache.com. Yes, so good. I'm a little giddy because I'm really happy to be able to read his stuff on the show, and I think it's the perfect complement to the other authors that I'm reading to you. Just a little more on the financial side, but not to the point where my eyes glaze over and I can't understand what he's talking about. Plus, he's really cool. Oh man crush alert. But seriously, if you want to take on the financial side of your life, check out his site, MrMoneyMustache.com. That's MR Money Mustache, and mustache is spelled Mustache, or just Google Mr. Money and I'm sure he'll show up. So I didn't mention any sponsors earlier, and I'll briefly sponsor myself now. So if you enjoyed this show and the free content that I'm providing to you, please visit me online at oldpodcast.com and join the email list. It's all I ask because it's one of the few ways that I know that you're engaged and enjoying the show. Plus, you'll be getting free stuff from me. My first gift will be coming very soon, actually relates to this episode. So again, visit oldpodcast.com. All right, I'll catch you tomorrow and hopefully the next day and the next day where your optimal life awaits.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode and head to oldpodcast.com. That's oldpodcast.com for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.